being here with me as we move on to part two of John the Ripper, the basics. On the last video, reached, we had moved until task 7. I think this was our last question that we solved. So we're going to move to task 8, which is the custom rules. So this is basically, so for this video, I'm just going to go roughly through the content so that the video does not stay as long as it was the previous one. So some of these things you can read for yourself to also get a better grasp at the content. What are the custom rules? So basically, from what I got from this is custom rules are like because on the previous task, if I'm not wrong, there was this word mangling, where it's sort of trying to figure out what the password could be from someone's username, their address, their location. So for task 7 is like, for task 8 is custom rules, and it's sort of the same thing, not actually the same, but sort of. As we explored, that is what they state here. As we explored what John can do in single crack mode, you may have some ideas about some good mangling patterns or what patterns your passwords often use that could be replicated with other particular mangling patterns. So the good news is that you can define your rules, which John will create passwords dynamically, and then the ability to define such rules is beneficial when you know more information about the password structure of whatever your target is. So this is sort of like creating, for example, one mangling was for using your username, your address or location. So it's running on the same principles, whereby you can now create custom rules so that John can sort of use those rules to figure out what the password could be. So some of the common rules they give us here is many organizations will require a certain level of password complexity to try and combat dictionary attacks. In other words, when creating a new account or changing your password, if you attempt a password like Polo password, it will most likely not work. The reason will be the enforced password complexity. As a result, you may receive a prompt telling you that the passwords have to contain at least one character from each of the following: lowercase, uppercase, number, and symbol. Password complexity is good, however, we can exploit the fact that most users will be predictable in the location of these symbols for the above criteria. Many users will use something like the following: Polo password one, yeah, and then exclamation point. So it's basically telling us that you can create rules for how John can manipulate what password someone has, because we all know, if you've been in a workplace or at school whereby you're told there's this password policy where it has to have a special character, it has to have uppercase, lowercase. So basically most passwords we know are like that. So you can create such rules and on John so that it can be able to crack some of those passwords. Yeah. So this is just a way of how the next session is how to create custom rules. Custom rules are defined in this place in John. This file can be found here on this file on the TryHackMe box. It's usually located here if you have installed John using a package manager or built from source with make. They give you examples on how to create custom rules. The first line is list, then the sort of this is the syntax for creating those rules. It's list, then rules, then the THM rules. This is an example, if I'm not wrong. Is used to define the name of your rule. This is what you will use to call your custom rule a John argument. We then use a regex style pattern match to define where the word will be modified. Again, we will only cover the primary and most common modifiers here. So AZ takes the word and appends it with the character you define. A0 takes the word and prepends it with the characters you define. And then C capitalizes the character positionally. So those are some of the self-explanatory the rules. These can be used in combination to define where and what in the word you want to modify. Lastly, we must define what characters should be appended, prepended, or otherwise included. We do this by adding character sets in the square brackets where they should be used. These follow the modifier patterns inside double quotes. Here are some common examples. 0 to 9 will include numbers, 0 will include only the number 0, A to Z will include both upper and lowercase because you can see it's capital A and small z. And then A to Z with both capitals will include only uppercase letters, and A and to Z with small capital letters will only include lower letters. So please note that A will only include A, and then these characters will include the symbols that they've put in the brackets. Putting this all together to generate a word list from the rules that would match the example password, assuming the word is polo password was in your word list, right? You would create a rule entry that looks like this. So the list, then the rules, and then polo password. So the list is this, which is CAZ. So CAZ, if I'm not wrong, C is to capitalize the first letter. A is to AZ appends to the end of the word. Then 0 to 9, a number in the range 0 to 9, then this one is followed by one of these symbols. So if you put these rules, when John is going through the word list that you've given it, it will add sort of the passwords plus these rules. I don't know if that makes sense. If I'm explaining it also wrong, you can just sort of comment in the comment section below, and then we will see better ways to explain it. We can learn together in this space, okay? So yeah, so we could then sorry, I also have a cold, so I'm a bit sick, but we learn every day. So using custom rules, we could then call this custom rule a John argument using the syntax flag. As a full command, it will be John, the word list, and the path to word list. And then, so it will be John, then the word list. Let's say we're using the rock Q list. You provide the path to that where you've stored that word list. And then you put the rule. The rule is going to be this right here. This is going to be the rule here. I don't know if you can see it. This is going to be the rule, and then the password you're thinking is this, yeah, and then path to where the password is, if I'm not wrong. As a note, I find it helpful to talk out the patterns if you're writing a rule as shown above. The same applies to writing regex patterns. Jumbojohn already has an extensive list of custom rules containing modifiers for use in almost all cases. If you get stuck, try looking at those rules around line 678. If your syntax isn't working correctly, now it's time for you to have a go. So this is sort of go and learn, go and figure it out, go and do your research and sort of get a grasp of creating custom rules in John. I feel like this section here you need to read it on your own to get a better grasp of the content. So what do custom rules allow us to exploit? So with this question, I had to go and look and search for videos that people have done for this room because I could not find it. I could not figure it out. And even if you check most of the content, maybe in YouTube, most people didn't understand it. It was very open ended, very difficult to understand. So this one I just cheated. I had to I had to look it up to just write it. It's password complexity predictability. Yep, think that's it. Yeah, it was somewhere here. Password complexity is good. Yeah. And then what rule would you use to add all capital letters to the end of the word? So this is it. A Z, then A to Z. A, it's capital A, capital Z. So that would be that would be it. Then AZ appended to the end. What rule would you use to add all capital letters to the end of the word? AZ is appending the rule to the end of the word, and then now you're specifying you want it to be all capital letters, so it's capital A, capital Z. So what flag, what flag rule, what flag would you use to call a custom rule called THM rules? So as we mentioned, it's the rule and then equals to THM rules. I think it's just here, the syntax. We would then call this custom rule a join argument using rule is equals to THM. Rule is equals to polo password. So it's here, rule is equals to THM rules. So yes, you read that right. We can use John to crack password on password protected zip files. Again, we'll use a separate part of John's suite of tools to convert the zip files into a format that John will understand, but we'll use the syntax you're already familiar with for all intents and purposes. So zip to John, similarly to the unshadow tool we used previously, we will use the zip to John to convert the zip file into a hash format that John can understand and hopefully crack. The primary usage is like this. So this is the syntax to change the zip file that you want to crack into a format that John understands. So it will be zip to John, then the options and the zip file, then the output where you're going to store the sort of updated version that John can understand. Yeah, so that's the output file. The options allows you to pass specific checksum options to zip to John. This shouldn't often be necessary. Then zip file is the path to the zip file you wish to get the hash of. Then this directs the output from this command to another file, and the output file is the file that we store the output. So example usage is zip to John, then the zip file, then you direct it to an output file that John is able to understand. We are then able to crack the file we output from zip to John in our example use case. Zip this, and then as we did with unshadow, feed it directly into John as we have made the input specifically for it. So this is it. Practical this. Now have a go at cracking a secure zip file. This file is located here under task 9. What is the password for the secure zip file? So what we're going to do, I had already started the machine. Let's see if it has done its thing. Then we're going to use, yeah, John can also be used to crack zip files, and as they mentioned, we can use John to crack the password on password protected zip files. Again, we'll use a separate part of the John suite of tools to convert the zip file into a format that John will understand, but we'll use the syntax you are already familiar with for all intents and purposes. So we first need to change the zip files into a format that John can understand, and the syntax for it is zip to John, then the options and the zip file that you want to sort of change to that format that John understands, and the output file, which is now the file that will contain the format of the zip file that John can understand. So as you can see, options allows you to pass specific checksum options to zip to John. This shouldn't be often necessary because some of these tools are already John, like as you've seen even with the previous task, like John can already, because if you can remember, if you've done the previous rooms, when you there's another method of cracking the hashes, and it's the hashcat version. But with hashcat, you need to provide the mode and the type of sort of hash that is. But sometimes with Jones, you don't need to, because it automatically picks up the mode and cracks it on its own. So it's not required. So here for the options, it's not a must for you to input it. So the zip file is the file you wish to get the hash of. Then this symbol redirects it to the output file, which is the zip file that you've changed into a format that John understands. So this is an example of how to sort of change the format of the zip file to uh, a format that John understands. As you can see, we've not placed the options value, because John automatically does that for you. So when cracking, this is sort of the syntax that you use. You first have to change the file into a format that John understands, and use this syntax to sort of crack the hash, which is the syntax we've been using all through. So yeah, let's get to the practical. So now we have a go at cracking a secure zip file. The file is located in task 9. The first question is what is the password for the secure.zip file? It's in task 9. So what do we do? I'd already started the machine because it usually takes a bit of time for it to start. Yeah, it's connecting, but it had already done it. So I'm going to move it into full screen so that you can get a better view of what I'm doing. So yeah, this is the thing. They've said it's in task 9. So we do ls and then cd John the Ripper. The basics. The name is so long. And then ls again. Then we move to task 9 because the zip file is in task 9. And then ls, there is the zip file, the secure.zip. So we first need to change that zip file into a format that John understands, and the syntax is zip to John. Zip to John. I don't know how to spell John. Zip to John. Then the file is secure.zip, and then we are changing it to, you can name the file, the output file, however you want it to be. It's just going to be zip hash, right, dot txt. All right, we're going to use that, and that does it. So if we do ls on task 9, we can see the format that we created, the file that has the format that John understands. And then now we just input it into the syntax that we've used to crack the hash on John. So it's John, then the word list equals to, we're using the roq word list, and I usually just copy paste as I have mentioned before. I just copy paste here. Which one? Where is it? Here. I just copy paste this. And then input it here. And then now the file is zip hash.txt. And we have the password. The password is pass123, which is the answer to this question. Pass123. So what is the contents of the flag inside the zip file? So we already have the password, so when asked for it, we can use it to sort of access the zip file. So I'm going to move into this, into ls, then we have secure.zip. So we want to access secure.zip file. So to do that, you just do unzip secure.zip. It's asking for password, which is pass123. The password doesn't usually show, so you can just type it. It doesn't usually show on the on the command line. So if we do ls, here is the file containing the sort of the cracked version of the secure.zip file, if that makes sense. And then we do cd to get into the file, which is zippy, and then ls will show us flag.txt. Then to view the contents of the file, it's usually cut flag.txt. And there we have it, folks. There we have it. This is it. The file. The content of the file is this. There we have it. And then now we move to the next task, which is task 10. I don't know how, if that is how we pronounce it or say it, but you get the point. We can use a similar process to the one we used in the last task, which is cracking the zip files. So to obtain the password for RAR archives. If you aren't familiar, RAR archives are compressed files created by this archive manager. Like zip files, they compress folders and files. So to do that, it's the same thing that we've done with the zip files. So this one, you do zip to John, and then you use RAR to John. Like the other one was zip to John. Now this is RAR to John. The same syntax. You don't have to use the options value if it's not a must, because John automatically does that for you. And this is the syntax. You see example how to change it into a format that John will understand, and then you use the same syntax to crack the hash. So it's let's go to practicals, which is what is the password for the secure.rar file. Man, what is wrong? Yeah, so it's in task 10. So we'll move to task 10. So what I'm going to do is clear the page. Oh my god. I can't pronounce right. I can't type right. So CD. We can just do CD to start at the beginning, which is ls. And that John the Ripper. The basics. Then ls and cd to task 10. Yep. And ls. Then we have that is a secure.rar file. So we're going to change it to a format that John understands. So it's rar to John, then secure.rar. Then we change it, we move it to another file, which is rar hash.txt. And we've done it. If we do ls, the file is here. And then how do we crack it? It's John word list equals to, then I'm going to copy paste. I'm going to copy paste where the path to the file raw q. And then now the file is r Oh, sorry. I've just copy pasted the word here. And the file is rar hash dot txt. And the password is password. The password is password, my people. Password. That's the password. So, what are the contents of the flag inside the zip file or the RAR file? So, as we did last time, we're just going to now it's going to be unra. That time it was unzip. So, unra secure dot rar, and then what is going on? Hmm? Let's see what's going on. And cut rar hash dot txt. Just shows the thing, the hash file. Okay, let's use the hint. Let's use the hint. What is a hint? The hint is you need to install a utility called Andra. So I'm guessing it's not the same thing, or it's not installed in this TryHackMe machine. So we're going to do just that. So to do that, we'll have to go back to this. Oh, it's going to be hard. Okay, let's see. It's to install. It's install Andra. What is going on? Then why can't I? Okay, I can't install because I'm not the root user. But now how do I undo it? Man, then let's try cat secure.rar. It's not doing anything. Ah, okay, let's do this. CD. Oh, you'll have to bear with me. I feel like I'm lost, but this is how we learn every day. Reaper the basics. If you know what I'm supposed to do right now, comment down below. ls, then cd task 10, ls, then cut secure. It's not working. Oh my god, it's not working. How do we do this? How do we do this? I can't figure it out. Where will we get? Where are we supposed to get what? The Andra thing, because it's not working. Andra secure dot rar. It's just listing things. It does not showcase. I don't understand why my Wi-Fi is not connecting. Oh, don't tell me it has. I have to begin again. Then CD John the Ripper. The basics. ls cd task 10 ls. So the syntax I've had to go and research because I couldn't remember for the life of me. I couldn't remember what the syntax was. So it's Andra, then X. I don't know why there's an X there. Then secure dot rar. Then the password will be password, and we have done it. So we do ls, and the flag.txt is here. So it's cat flag.txt, and there we have it, folks. There we have it. The flag is here. I couldn't, for the life of me, figure this out. But this is it. Yeah. So we move on to task 11, which is cracking SSH key passwords. So it's just reading some of this content, then SSH to John. Who could have guessed it? Another conversion tool. Yeah, that is what we do, like zip, RAR file, and now SSH to John. We do the same thing, if I'm not wrong. This, the part to the ID RSA file you wish to get the hash of, then this and the output file. It's the same thing. SSH to join, and that. And then we'll move to cracking. For the final time, we are feeding the file we output from SSH to John, which in our example use case is this. And as we did with RAR to John, we can use this seamlessly with John. Then we do the same syntax. Now I'd like to crack the hash of ID hyphen RSA file. So it's located in task 11. What is the SSH private key password? So the same thing, if I'm not wrong. CD, oh, it's raining. Blessings. Rains are blessings. So it's CD, then ls, then CD task 11, then ls again. Then that's the file here. We have the file right here. And then what we do? SSH to John, right? And then what's the thing? ID RSA. Then we output it to ID RSA dot txt, right? Command not found. I don't know if you can hear me because it has just started raining. So I hope you can hear me. Fingers crossed. Why is it not working? Didn't I read this thing very well or what? Okay, let's see. SSH to John invokes the SSH John to the idea, the path to the you wish to get the hash of, then the file, then the output. So it's, I don't get it. Why do we have .py here? Does anyone get it? I'm still here just trying to figure it out. So, probably I should have read it, and that's why I'm saying you should read all these things. Because now this is where the mistake comes in. I think they have not installed it. So they say if you don't have this installed, you can use the this other one located in this. So what we're going to do, if you're doing this on the attack box, replace the SSS2 hash to John command with this. So we're going to just copy paste this. I don't know if it's possible, and see if it will work. Let's copy paste it and then do SSH. No, then do ID RSA. And then we do this is ID rsa.txt rsa.txt, and then if we do ls, we have the output file, and then we will just do join. Now I'm moving way ahead of myself. Word list equals to, we copy paste this, we paste this, we copy paste this. What is going on? Oh man, it's supposed to be join. I don't know what just happened. What we can do is clear. What is going on? Yeah. So we're going to do join hot list equals to, we copy paste. What is going on? Did I do something wrong or what? So John, again, I'm gonna do this. I might have touched something. What list equals? Let's see. What is not happening? It's the same syntax I've been putting the entire time. I don't understand what's going on. Copy and then paste. I've been doing that the entire time, so I don't understand what that was. Then we do, it was ID rsa dot txt, right? And the answer is mango. Mango, 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 mango. Oh my god, I wasn't. Was I? Oh, I wasn't showcasing it. But here's what I did. It's here. Join dot word list. This is it. The syntax that I used, and this is the password. This is the password, mango. And that is the answer. And here it is. Mango is the answer. Yay, we got it finally. Then we move to the last task, which is just further reading. Thank you for completing this room. I hope you've learned a lot along the way. And just saying thank you for putting in the work, man. So I'm sorry the video was all over the place. I don't even know if you can hear me clearly because it's raining heavily outside and the video has been all over the place. But please bear with me. This is my first time doing this and I'm not great at it, but I'm also trying to learn how to video shoot these things and also how to get into cybersecurity just like you, how to go through these rooms. So like, comment, subscribe, help your girl out down in the comments below on ways I can improve on other platforms that you guys use. If it's not TryHackMe or any other questions that you have, thank you so much. I hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye.